Well, hello to all of you from around the world. I want to thank you for joining us for another edition of Soulivity Today. We're broadcasting live from our studio right here in the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. And whether you're at home, driving, or at work, we're always glad you're here with us. My name is Brian Westley Johnson, and we have such another amazing show for you. And we've got a lot to get to today, so let's start here. Have you heard of manifestation? It's one of the most talked about spiritual concepts today, featured in countless books, videos, and workshops around the world. But here's something you might not know. You're manifesting all the time, whether or not you realize it or not. That's right. Your life experiences are shaped by your level of conscious awareness. So how can you harness this power more effectively? Well, it starts with healing, both inside and out. When we address the stress and tension stored in our bodies, we open the door to manifesting the life we truly desire. That's why today we're diving into the transformative world of somatic healing, an incredible practice that can help you unlock your potential and create your best life. And to guide us on this very special journey, we're thrilled to welcome back our very special guest. Ifé Mora is a somatic experiencing practitioner, somatic trauma healer, coach, trauma-informed educator, and Buddhist spiritual counselor. Her work blends neurobiology and spirituality to help people resolve trauma and live happier, healthier, and more fulfilling lives. And I'm so glad to welcome back Ifé Mora to Soulivity Today. Hey, Ifé, how are you?
Hi, Brian. So lovely to be here. Thank you for having me back. It's always a pleasure.
Absolutely. And we are excited to have you here for this really important conversation today. So I think the best way for us to start, because we've had previous shows together talking about somatic healing. I highly recommend that people go and listen to those other shows. So I think the best way to do this is maybe we start with a recap of somatic healing for those who may be turning in for the first time, and maybe include the role that stored trauma and chronic stress play in blocking access to anyone's individual life vitality.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, Brian. So, I like to think about manifestation from the perspective of healing. A lot of spiritual teachers will leave that part out, but as a somatic practitioner with my own clinical practice, I have found that it is so vital to heal as we put ourselves on the journey of manifestation. So I have four principles today for you all and for
Mhm.
you, for your beautiful audience, Brian, that I want to
Mhm.
share that are really vital to the role of manifestation. So the first one I like to say that it is to heal mind, body, and spirit. So somatic work is a mind body oriented practice. It's about being embodied in your body with mindful awareness in the here and now. Stored trauma and chronic stress are located in the body. So it is the
Okay.
body that we have to tune to in order to heal.
Okay.
And somatic, meaning like you could think about the body of a cell, the soma of a cell. So we think about our bodies and what are we holding? What are our bodies holding? So we know from many, many studies that our autonomic nervous system, which controls our fight, flight, and freeze response, if we experience a lot of trauma, it accumulates in our system. The same with chronic stress, and it activates a threat response. And if we get stuck and not discharge all of this survival energy that charges up when we experience the threat that causes trauma, or we experience continual chronic stress, if we don't discharge this charge from survival energy, we usually allow it to stick and get stuck in our bodies. It
Mm.
dysregulates our autonomic nervous system and it keeps us stuck in survival physiology, which is that fight, flight, freeze response. So we usually get stuck on, which is in fight or flight, or get stuck off, which is in freeze. And if this causes dysregulation, and it also
Hmm.
causes us to become more rigid and inflexible with our nervous system. So,
Oh, wow.
somatic work helps you to move back into your bodies that we often are detached from because it can be very scary to be in the body doing the work because we hold so much of our memory, our somatic memory. Everything we experience, we hold in our bodies. So it can be a kind of frightening experience, especially if we have dealt with a lot of trauma or chronic stress over time. But somatic work allows you to move into the body and experience what's happening in the body and then be able to connect with those parts. So we look at as somatic practitioners what sensations are being held in a body, what sensations can we attune to in the body. So
Okay.
sensations would be like expansion or stuckness or blocks, the sensation, the feeling of I have a sensation of stuckness in my body, or a sensation of a block in my body, or expansion in my body. And when we see expansion, block, or stuckness in the body, it usually is reflecting and mirroring what we are experiencing in real everyday life. So, as we experience it in the body, we are usually experiencing it in life. I'm stuck in my area of career. I have a block in area of love or relationships. I have a financial block, right? I don't have access to certain things that I want and desire in life. And so what I have found with my work is that when we go into the body and start healing, it starts to heal those blocks and that stuckness, because those blocks and stuckness
Mm.
represent the chronic stress and trauma that are stuck in your system, in your body, your
Wow.
physiology. So we go in
Wow.
and we start doing the work, healing it. It starts to dissolve, it starts to release, and your nervous system begins to regulate. And so now you go from a kind of more rigid and flexible nervous system where you have a very low tolerance to deal with everyday stress. And
Hmm.
with the healing, you have more of a flexible, resilient nervous system that whatever types of stressors come into your life or problems or troubles, or if you're still dealing with triggers, you can manage it, you can handle it. You have the capacity to be with it now. You have the resilience to be with those big stressors, those big things in life that can feel very overwhelming for our systems. Once you're able to achieve that, you become very curious about life. You
Okay. Okay.
mobilize into feeling safety. And when you feel safety, then everything becomes possible. You become
Mm.
interested and adventurous, and you want to move out there into the world and explore the world and try different things. And at that point, you start feeling very inspired to be on your path of manifestation and achieving all of your desires and dreams.
All this makes a lot of sense to me, Ife,
Mhm.
because, I think what we're taught to do is just push everything down, as you were saying before. Push it down and try to forget it, right?
Yeah.
And don't and just keep moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. And unfortunately, by pushing it down, we're not dealing with it. We're not even being aware of pushing it down first and what we're pushing down. And so it
Mhm.
makes sense to me that having this attunement into what's happening with us physically, right? Doesn't mean that there's a disconnect between that and our spirituality. No, it's all, as you were saying before, it's this mind, body, soul kind of connection. And that we're actually connecting with how all this is showing up in our human experience, right? Because as I say to people, we're spiritual beings living a human experience, right? And so we've got to listen to our bodies around this. So that makes so much sense. Really quick question while we have some time. Do you find that in the beginning with people where you're teaching them to create this attunement for themselves, where kind of like their radar, that in of itself starts a lot of healing?
It does, because simple awareness and attunement to your body and to your physiology and to the sensations in your bodies and also your emotions, if you can connect with them in the here and now, that process, that action alone, and I like to call it intentional action. So that intentional action alone begins the healing process. Because Peter Levine, whose modality I practice, somatic experiencing, he calls it the trauma vortex and a counter vortex. And so when we're feeling that stuckness and those blocks, we would consider that in somatic experiencing the trauma vortex. The trauma vortex meaning that the traumas that you've experienced in life or chronic stress that has accumulated in your physiology has created a lot of discomforts, pain, illness, blockness, stuckness, heaviness, pressure. And when we attune to it with awareness and conscious awareness, we are able to immediately connect with the counter vortex that is already in our systems. And when we connect to the counter vortex, that counter vortex connects to the trauma vortex and it begins to do the healing and the work. And all it takes is like what you said, conscious awareness, attunement to stuckness, blocks, pressure, heaviness, activating the counter vortex to come in and start doing that self-healing work.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I listen, I knew this was going to be an important conversation today because I think, again, I don't think people know and really understand what we carry. I mean, we've heard the term baggage, right? But it's deeper than just our thoughts, right? And that kind of thing, that it goes down into how we physically relate to our world and what we're carrying physically in our body, right? And these things can cause other things like we've talked in the past about, this dis-ease, right? Illness and all those things, I truly believe are psychosomatic, right? Where you're creating these diseases in your body. And I think that as people learn about this from people like you, Ifé, and they start practicing it, they're actually going to feel a lot healthier in a holistic way. So thanks for being here and talking about this.
Absolutely. Yes, I agree
Yeah.
with you 100%. Absolutely.
Listen, we're going to take a quick break. But we've got more with Ifé coming up. Well, we're going to talk with her about the connection between somatic healing and taking action while overcoming resistance in our lives. You don't want to miss this, so we'll be right back. Soulivity Today is brought to you by Happy Travelers Tours and Old Vine Wine Tours.
Ready to embark on a wine-filled adventure? Go to oldvinewinetours.com and book your luxury wine tour today and experience the unparalleled beauty and flavors of Sonoma, Napa, and Lake counties. oldvinewinetours.com offers transportation for the most amazing experiences in the Sonoma Valley, Santa Rosa, Healdsburg, and all of Sonoma County, as well as the Napa Valley and Clear Lake wineries of Lake County. From boutique tastings to bridal party transportation, we have you covered. Visit oldvinewinetours.com or call 707-386-9859 for more information. Don't forget to mention promo code Soulivity to get 10% off either a culture or wine tour. Book your wine country adventure. Visit oldvinewinetours.com or call 707-386-9859 today.
What if you could make a free phone call and reduce your car payment by as much as $83 a month? Right now, you could be paying as high as 20% interest. Your new interest rate could be reduced to as low as 2.48%. You can refinance any existing car loan or leased car and save money every month. Take 5 minutes of your time right now. Make this free phone call and learn how to save hundreds of dollars a year by refinancing your existing car loan.
Dial 877-511-7277 now. That's 877-511-7277.
Well, welcome back to Soulivity Today as we talk with Ifé Mora, somatic trauma healer and educator, about how to unlock your power and use somatic healing to manifest your best life today. I'm so glad we're having this conversation, Ifé, because
Oh,
again,
yeah, me too.
yeah, I mean, again, every time we talk about somatic healing, I'm just reminded of the importance of this being, a part of a whole health kind of lifestyle, right? Where you're just not focused on one specific aspect, as many of us do, thinking that that's just going to be it, and then we're still creating the same kind of dysfunction and disease over and over and over again, and wondering why we're doing that. So again, I
Yeah.
thank you for your expertise today. Listen, as we're talking about this, um, you say with a lot of times that like resistance plays a role in a lot of ways around us creating blocks. What are some of the ways resistance can manifest in our daily life, and how does it relate to stored trauma specifically?
Absolutely. So my second principle for manifestation would be to really like taking intentional action towards softening resistance in
Hmm.
order to stop self-sabotaging.
Mm,
Okay, so when we think about how we store trauma and these blocks and this stuckness, it prevents us from accessing our life vitality. And our life vitality is what we need in order to mobilize and feel into being able to achieve our dreams and to manifest and actualize in our lives all that we desire. But what happens along with the blocks and the stuckness that are preventing us from accessing life vitality is that we become very resistant because we're protective. Resistance is protection.
mhm,
It's survival energy that's protecting you from anything that might be a threat. And so anything new might be a threat for you. And
mhm,
what we've done in the past to survive is what the our physiology understands as this worked then, so let's stick with this. We don't want anything new because something new might be a threat for our survival. It might be something very scary. We're not familiar with it. And so let's just keep doing the same things we've been doing. We are still
right.
alive, right? We're surviving, so we know it works. However, old familiar patterns, especially surrounding and relating to trauma and chronic stress, become maladaptive. And they
Mm,
start self sabotaging our lives, right?
okay.
These old familiar patterns, coping mechanisms that we're using in order to get through the day, get through the week, get through
Right.
the work day, right? So, and then embracing something new can feel very, very scary. And so, what I find usually is that people have this resistance towards change, resistance towards healing, resistance towards doing the work or doing something new that might feel different or might feel a little bit scary, but that could actually work. So we want to be able to move into the body, locate what resistance feels like somatically, and begin softening. And resistance usually feels like a kind of anger or stuckness, like the world is against you. And this is actually preventing you from really being able to believe that anything in the world is possible and that you can move out into the world and do anything and everything that you can think of or in dream, right? So we want to
Mm,
softening resistance allows that self sabotage to soften as well. And it
okay.
eventually allows the self sabotage as we continue to heal. It allows the self sabotage to you become so cognizant, so aware of, wow, this action here in the here and now will sabotage all of my goodwill efforts. So I'm going to stop, pay attention to my body, pay attention to this response that I'm experiencing in the here and now, and I'm going to make a different choice, a different decision. I'm going to trust, maybe it's 10% or 15 or 20%. I'm going to trust that this could possibly help me. I'm going to get curious about it. Again, going back to that flexible nervous system that's resilient, that says that I'm going to try it out. The worst thing that can happen is that I fail or that it doesn't work. But if it hurts me, I can recover from it.
Right.
And that is a resilient, flexible nervous system, getting curious about what it is that can help you, softening that resistance so you stop self-sabotaging.
So we're moving from awareness of what's happening to creating this flexible and resilient nervous system through the healing process for reduction of resistance and self-sabotage. I'm loving this. I'm loving this because the truth of the matter is, like you said in the beginning, when you were describing what we naturally learn to do, which is important, which is our part of our fight or flight, right? We learn how to survive. Survive is just the start of the process. It's not where we're supposed to end up for the rest of our lives, right? And that's definitely not living, right? Because I love the fact that you said we're just getting through. Right, we're just getting through life, right? And we're just bumping into walls and trying to figure out how to go through this maze when there's an actual better way of actually turning survival into living, into thriving, where the maze goes away and we're actually having more control over what we're manifesting, right? And so thank you. Woo! You on a roll today, girl. I love this.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's I think people don't realize how much they resist and how much they're actually self-sabotaging every single day.
Absolutely.
Where I'll hear people talk about um you know man, it's so dark and gloomy outside. This is going to be a horrible day. And they haven't even left the house yet. Right.
That's right. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
well, guess what? You're creating that. You're already throwing it out to the universe that you're going to have a bad day. Right.
Yeah.
And so that all
And if I
comes from
may,
somewhere. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah.
Please.
And if I may, and earlier you asked for an example. So it's, if you have a good friend, if you're the type of person that you're seeking, you want to experience change, but you just don't know how to do it. So you're putting it out there. You're like, I'm suffering, hear me, see me. I don't know what to do with this suffering. I don't know what to do with this stuckness or these blocks. Please help me. And people who are good intention and also probably know what they're talking about offer you a tool, offer you a gift to be able to heal and work on yourself, and you resist against it. You deny it, right? That is that resistance. That is that self-sabotage that I'm talking about. And so what I see with a lot of people I work with in the beginning, not after we've worked for a while, is that being able to acknowledge it, to be aware of it. I am orienting to the kind of bad parts of life, as you said. I am orienting to it's never going to work out, and not orienting to there's a possibility, there's a chance. There are all of these obstacles against me. Those are real things. However, I am capable. I am able to really utilize what I can do, all of my tools, all of my gifts, and be able to really achieve the things I want to achieve in life. So that is that part of manifesting. We can't get to the manifestation if all of our gifts and our talents and our intelligence and our mobilization and our ways of being able to create a blocked and stuck, right? Like a pipe that has like all this gook stuck in it, this beautiful water can't rush through because you are dealing with this stuckness inside of your system that is that unhealed trauma and that chronic stress. And this stuckness, right? This stuckness is blocking all of that beauty within you that is inherently who you are. It is
Right.
what you are,
Right.
it's how you've been born, and it's the life that creates the blocks. And so we have to go in the body and start working on it and healing it so the blocks can come out and we can stop self
Absolutely.
sabotaging and resisting against people who want to help,
Mm,
people who want
mm,
to
mm.
be there with us in community and connect with us and just be able to help, so we can really allow that help and that support to come in and serve us.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you for that. And I think that's the perfect way for us to go to a break. Because you bring in the noise and fun today. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Listen, we're going to take this break, but when we come back, Ifé will help us dive into another important aspect of somatic healing and manifestation. And that's divine timing. So stay right here.
Are you a business owner looking to expand your reach and revenue to a perfect community? Being a Soulivity Today radio sponsor puts your business in front of hundreds of thousands of customers every week, and it's affordable too. For about the cost of a cup of coffee and snack each day, you can reach ideal people looking for your product or service. Soulivity Today is a weekly, hour-long program that dives into the heart of what matters most in our lives, the people, places, and topics that shape our world. It's the perfect place for your business to shine. Go to soulivity.com/Soulivity Today to learn how you can expand your business marketplace by becoming a Soulivity Today radio show sponsor. And for a limited time, special rates are being offered, so don't delay.
Six years ago, when I started Soulivity, my vision was to support everyone in improving their life through the discovery of their passion and purpose, so they could become the best version of themselves, to battle fear and ignorance, and create a better world today. Get inspired to live your passion and purpose. Visit Soulivity.com now.
Hey, welcome back to Soulivity Today as we talk with Ifé Mora, somatic trauma healer and educator, about how to unlock your power and use somatic healing to manifest your best life today. You know, Ifé, I think one thing that all of us have to practice is patience, right? I know I'm still practicing it, especially with my children, my grandchildren. Why is
Mhm.
patience critical and crucial with aligning with divine timing on your journey to self-transformation? I think this is really an important thread that I think you pull with people in somatic healing.
Absolutely. So patience is important because, and I have to say that a lot of times people think that patience is this kind of stagnant type of state, but it's not. It's actually very active. And I like to again say taking intentional action toward being patient. So patience allows us to connect with the intention of the universe or God, which is creation, right? We are
Mm,
all creation. We come from somewhere, we are created, we're part of an ecosystem that is about creation. And we are a microcosm of the macrocosm of creation. So, our natural inherent ability is to create, which is to manifest. But like anything in nature, it takes time. And in a society where we want things to happen like this, instant gratification, we are always in a hurry, in a rush, right? But when we hurry, when we push things along too fast, we create that resistance and we
mhm,
constrict against ourselves and
mm,
against the thing that we want. And so we're doing more harm towards what we want than doing good. When we settle in and anchor in the law or the action of patience, we're able to connect and align with the universe, God, creation, where it says that it will take time. You plant the seed, and that seed is your seed of desire, the seed of your dreams. You plant it, you create conditions, the right conditions for that seed to grow. You take action, intentional action towards cultivating it and nurturing it every single day, giving it the sunlight, the work, the things that you need to do in order for it to grow. And you allow it to happen and grow when it's supposed to come and grow and happen.
Hmm.
And when that
Hmm.
happens, actually, we notice in nature that plants will thrive in those conditions and flourish even
Yeah.
more as we give patience over to that process. That is divine timing because we're aligning with that innate way the universe and God works as a
Hmm.
way of being patient, trusting over to something that we can't see physically, putting our
Yeah.
faith into it, and then having patience and just appreciating that moment. And within that, oh, so many lessons, so many teachings,
Yeah.
so much to learn, which is why it is divine because
Wow.
we give ourselves over, we surrender to, I can wait for this. I can
Yeah.
trust that it's going to come when it's supposed to come. I can trust in that God has a plan, the universe has a plan, the universe can handle the details. And so I do the work, I plant the seed, I take the action, and I leave it over and I give it over to the universe to handle the details. And within that, on that journey, on that path, we learn so much. We take the teachings, we grow, and we actually, in retrospect,
Mm.
look back and say, it wasn't actually the thing that I achieved that was the most important here. It was actually the lessons and the medicine and the teachings that I learned on that path, on that journey to achieving it. And that is divine. That is
Mm.
divine. But that can only come if we practice patience.
Wow. 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 I'm hearing this thought that I've been taught by my parents and other teachers that I've had, and this thought of peace be still, right? Where, as you said, patience is not inactivity, it's actually an activity, right? It's a conscious activity of being divine and surrender and allowing the universe to guide you to what the next thing is going to be, right? Or to let things unfold. What is it? What's the saying? A watch pot never boils, right?
Yes,
Or
yes.
or
Uh-huh.
you plant a seed in a garden, and you're out there every day fiddling with the seed and that kind of thing, and it doesn't grow. Well, divine consciousness has to play a role in all of this. And I think you just beautifully kind of stated how all this kind of works around patience and helping us move into this journey of self-transformation in our lives and manifestation. So thank you. Thank you for that. Listen, we got to take another break, pay some bills. You know how we got to do. But when we come back, everybody, um, I'm going to ask Ifé what she believes is another important aspect of somatic healing and manifestation, and that is surrender. I think this is like big for all of us to understand and practice. So stay with us. We'll be right back with more of Soulivity Today in just a second.
Attention timeshare owners. This is an urgent consumer alert from the Timeshare Exit Hotline, a national company specializing in helping consumers legally get out of their expensive timeshare contracts. We're offering you a way to legally get rid of your timeshare. So if you're fed up with the maintenance fees that keep on coming and want to learn if you can terminate your timeshare legally and permanently, call today. Call the number on your screen today. It's a free call.
Dial 877-798-5991 today. That's 877-798-5991.
Join us every weekday at 8 a.m. for Soulivity Today.
Whether you're just starting your day or on the road,
Soulivity Today will make your days better.
We will empower you with authentic conversation about the latest news and trending topics. Plus, you won't want to miss our interviews with industry experts.
so sit back, relax, and get ready for a whole lot of fun.
Soulivity Today, weekdays at 8 a.m. only on Soulivity TV. Hey, welcome back. We're to more here on Soulivity Today as we talk with Ifé Mora, who's a somatic trauma healer and educator, about how to unlock your power and use somatic healing to manifest your best life today. And Ifé, again, there's all these different principles that you tell people about, or I should say aspects too, of somatic healing and manifestation and the connection between them. One is surrender. And so again, I think this is one of those unknown things, or things that are not really talked about. We kind of hinted about it in the last segment where we're talking about patience, because I think you can't do patience without surrender. And so my question is, how does this fit? What ways does spiritual surrender facilitate the healing, right? And that leading to achieving this more balanced life of prosperity and manifesting other things, peace, joy, love, and all the other things that we want to have in our lives.
Yeah, thank you for that. So our third principle was divine timing, right? And also the law of impermanence, whereas the law of impermanence is a Buddhist concept, but it's also a universal law where we understand that everything's always in shift. Nothing will stay the same. Things will always change. So if you're stuck in, I'm depressed, I have anxiety, I can't move forward in life, I don't know what's happening, know that at some point that will shift. Like a storm comes in and it causes havoc and destruction, but the storm passes. And so does stressors in life. It will eventually pass. And so as we move into the fourth principle, which is spiritual surrender and obtaining sustainable prosperity with spiritual surrender. So spiritual surrender simply means that we allow ourselves to relinquish control. We give over, right? We give over our need to control, going back to that rigidity of the nervous system that comes from being unhealed. It comes from the blocks. It comes from the stuckness in our systems. Again, because we cannot heal, we cannot manifest if we do not heal. So, and when we begin healing, our nervous systems become more flexible. Then we start attuning into, I can release control. I don't need to control anymore, because that control comes from hypervigilance. Hypervigilance is created from trauma. It's a trauma response and it's a chronic stress response. I have to be aware all the time. I have to control every aspect of my life, because if I don't, I won't survive.
Right.
And so what the healing does is that allows you to feel safe enough to let go. And what I'm bringing into the work is then now connect with your spirit, connect with the universe and God, and surrender yourself over to that. Surrender yourself over to the mystical workings of the universe and allow the God and the universe to do the work, right? In collaboration with what you're doing as well, because you can't sit back and say, oh, the God and the universe take over. No, you have to constantly be taking action, intentional action, and you're collaborating with the universe to achieve obtain sustainable prosperity. And I say sustainable prosperity because we are creating beings. We're manifesting beings, like you said at the beginning of the show. We're constantly manifesting. It's just the nature of who we are. However, if we're stuck in survival physiology and we are self-sabotaging, we will sabotage what we manifest, and we will do it
Mm,
over and over and over
mm,
again, right? So, for example,
mm.
you manifest the best job, and
Right,
then you're stuck in survival physiology. You're resisting, you're stubborn, you're not listening, and you're making it very difficult for your employer or for your coworkers. They're not
right,
going to
right,
want you or in this business that they're doing, that they've worked so hard to achieve, right? They want to be able to work with people who have very regulated, flexible, healed nervous systems. And
right,
so as we heal, we are able to keep in our lives to sustain the prosperity that we manifest from healing.
right,
Everything that is our inherent right as human beings. So inherently we deserve love, we deserve partnership, we deserve disposable income, we deserve great careers, we deserve access to health care, we deserve to be loved, we deserve access to good food, nutrition, wellness,
right.
holistic health. It is our inherent right as human beings. But if we are in spaces and states that we are unhealed, we are self sabotaging, we are not able to sustain what we create in life. So,
Right.
healing and surrendering over to the process spiritually, because we have to have a little bit of faith, allows us to keep and sustain the prosperity that we manifest in life. And then it accumulates and becomes bigger and more expansive and more expansive, because we are microcosms of the macrocosm of the ever expanding universe. So if we can sustain it,
Wow.
we can allow it to constantly expand, 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 expand as we are in collaborative work with God and the universe.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. Again, all this is in alignment with these thoughts that we've talked about before on Soulivity Today and in soulivity.com, where we talk about, you know, when you heal and you release this energy and you remove the blocks, you create a vacuum. And the universe abhors a vacuum. And what flows in is all this goodness, right? And as you go through this
Mhm.
practice more and more and more, you practice the flow, right? And so the universe goes, okay, well, you've mastered this. So let me dial it up and dial it up some more and dial it up some more until you reach a point at which where you want to be in your life in terms of around manifesting the joy and peace and happiness and money and all the other things that you want to experience. So thank you for that. Thank you for this today. My goodness, girl.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely, absolutely.
this is wonderful, 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 wonderful. Um,
Yeah.
but we're not done yet. I still want to talk to you about something on the other side of our commercial that's coming up, which includes this beautiful gift from the heart that you're offering people that's in total alignment with everything that you stand for. So listen, everyone, we're going to take this quick break. It's going to be really quick. And we'll be back with more from Ifé Mora in just about a minute or so. Soulivity Today is brought to you by Happy Travelers Tours and Old Vine Wine Tours.
Ready to embark on a wine-filled adventure? Go to oldvinewinetours.com and book your luxury wine tour today and experience the unparalleled beauty and flavors of Sonoma, Napa, and Lake counties. oldvinewinetours.com offers transportation for the most amazing experiences in the Sonoma Valley, Santa Rosa, Healdsburg, and all of Sonoma County, as well as the Napa Valley and Clear Lake wineries of Lake County. From boutique tastings to bridal party transportation, we have you covered. Visit oldvinewinetours.com or call 707-386-9859 for more information. Don't forget to mention promo code Soulivity to get 10% off either a culture or wine tour. Book your wine country adventure. Visit oldvinewinetours.com or call 707-386-9859 today.
Hey, welcome back to Soulivity Today. And this is one of my favorite parts of every program, and that is our gifts from the heart from our collaborators, guest, and host. And today is no exception, Ifé, because you have something really wonderful that's from your heart to everyone else. And that is this beautiful connection that they can make with you. And because of that connection, you have something that you're giving them just through connecting. And what's that gift?
Yeah. So first, I'd like to gift your audience for a moment, just perceive and see in your mind's eye what you truly desire and feel it, feel the emotional connection to it. Hold it, feel it in your hands, feel the weight of it, feel the texture of it, and then bring that to your heart and
Mm.
allow that desire and that dream to melt all through your body like honey, like maple syrup, and distribute to every cell and every inch of your body. So that is my
Mm.
first gift. And my second gift is that if you contact me through Let's Chat on my website, ifemora.com, and just send me a little bit of email. Say, I heard you on Soulivity Live and I like to connect and I like to know more about somatic healing or manifestation with somatic healing. I reach back out to every single person that connects with me because I want people to know you are not alone. You are not
Mm.
alone. This world can feel very lonely at times. This journey of life can feel very, very lonely at times. So I want you to know that it might seem very solitary, but you are not alone. So reach out to me and we can start up a conversation. And in return for you reaching out and taking that intentional action, I'm going to send you a meditation, a somatic meditation for manifestation that you can
Wow.
play every single day and that can help you to visualize the experience of healing somatically and allowing your nervous system to heal and become regulated and resilient and flexible and see flow into your life with effortless ease all that you dream and desire. And I will guide you
Wow.
through learning how to be patient and surrendering spiritually to the here and now
Wow.
and to creation and God. So just get in touch with me. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yay. I love all these gifts from the heart because again, people, I mean, these are free. These are free things, free resources that you can actually use today. And so get in contact with Ifé. Go to her website at ifemora.com. And then you can click on the Let's Chat menu item and just fill that out and get in contact with her. You can learn more about somatic healing and get a free somatic meditation as well. So thank you, Ifé, for being here. You know how much I appreciate you
Yeah.
doing this work
Yeah,
and
same,
being a light
equal.
in this world.
Mm, mm. Well, I'm reflecting your light, Brian. So you know how much I appreciate you and thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you again. Listen, everyone, we're not done yet. Just want to remind everyone that we are on social media. We are everywhere where Soulivity is active on all the major platforms. Just do a search for Soulivity and you'll find us on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and Threads and everything else. Also, want to remind you that every Soulivity Today show is a podcast. So you can download every show and take some much needed inspiration wherever you go. Also, want to remind you that, listen, Soulivity.com is here to serve you as inspiration for your passion and purpose. We have some really great new material that is available, including this wonderful uh, uh, new column by Sheila Applegate on empathy. I cannot stress to you how important it is for you to check that out, as well as the Whole Health Healing System curriculum is back with Dr. Mark Mancola. It's going to be starting on March the 10th, 2025. And we've got the early birds. Registration is open where you can save some money. So go check out our latest features, sign up for that, where it can help you transform your life as well. Just so much going on with Soulivity as we enter into the new year, and want to make sure that you are all plugged into that. Ifé, anything happening with you coming up in the new year that you want to tell people about?
Well, I am putting on my retreat in Quintana Roo in Mexico, the Maya Caribbean. Yeah, in
Woo, woo.
July 2025.
Okay.
The dates are, I believe, the July 16th through the 24th, but I'm going to be putting out on my website in the next couple weeks. And so people can be looking out for that. And I will be having more retreats locally in Los Angeles, one-day retreats and workshops and things like that coming up as well. So I would just say, just keep checking in with my website. And then that you can also check me out on Instagram, where I am mostly posting on Instagram, and you can receive meditations and guidance and different things that are just inspirational to help you on a daily basis towards your healing journey and your manifestation goals. So yeah, and so that's really kind of what's going on with me. And I just want to wish you a happy new year, Brian, and wish a happy
thank
new year to
you.
all your beautiful, beautiful audience, all these beautiful souls that tune in and are listening.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. And with that, I'm going to say that, listen, we're almost out of time, but I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us for this edition of Soulivity Today. You can join our nationally syndicated show by coming to Soulivity TV at 8 a.m. Eastern time, or you can watch or listen to us on different stations, radio stations across the country. So until next time, listen, we are America's place for conversations that empower you every single day. So keep watching and learning and growing with us, and use your passion and purpose to create a great life of high quality living. What we like to say is your best life today. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.
This work is subject to copyright owned by Affinity Global LLC. Any reproduction or republication of all or part of this is expressly prohibited unless Affinity Global LLC has explicitly granted its prior written consent. All other rights reserved.